What is cashless society? In this episode of the English Hour, we'll talk about a financial concept, which is cashless society. So, we'll first look at the history of money, and then we'll talk about the advantages and disadvantages of cashless society, and of course, I'll talk about what that means. So, in the past, people used maybe gold coins or silver coins to buy and sell stuff. Or before that, they used barter. They traded their goods and services for other goods and services. But especially in the last 2 centuries, I guess, people have used paper money to do certain transactions, to buy and to sell stuff across borders or in their countries. But with the advent of technology, with the advent and spread of credit cards, online banking, and mobile payment services, there has been an enormous surge in the number of online transactions or mobile payments. And I guess we're moving towards a cashless society, a society in which people do not use paper money, a society in which people simply use their credit cards or phones or maybe QR codes to pay their bills or to receive payments. So, what are the pros and cons of this concept? As I said, a cashless society is a society or a country where people do not use printed money, people do not use paper money, but instead use digital forms of money. And these digital forms of money can be seen in the form of credit cards, cryptocurrencies, contactless or NFC payments, online payments, and QR codes. And these can be used to send payments and receive payments in many cases. And it's undeniable that a cashless system makes our lives a lot easier. A cashless system, a cashless society can provide a lot of advantages, and these are mostly related to ease of use. So when you're using a credit card, when you're using different forms of contactless payment, they're generally very easy to use. You don't even have to enter a PIN. You just hold your credit card and then you pay. And generally, digital forms of money are fast and reliable. For example, you can easily transfer tens, hundreds, or thousands of liras, dollars, euros into your friend's account in a few minutes. It's pretty easy. You don't need to carry paper money. You don't need luggages. You don't need bags or anything. You simply transfer your money over the internet from one bank account to another. And therefore, not just contactless, but a cashless system is very easy to use and very reliable in many cases. And money is easy to transfer in a cashless society. And additionally, you don't need to worry about the security of your money or savings because the money is not saved in your pocket. It's not saved in your house in a cashless society. It's simply stored in a mobile application or inside a wallet app or in your bank account. So you don't really worry about the storage. And these are basically the main advantages of a cashless system or a cashless society. But when there are advantages, there are also disadvantages too. So let's have a look at the disadvantages that people might encounter in a cashless society. Some of these advantages can also turn into disadvantages. For example, when you use cash, it offers a certain level of privacy because your cash payments are not tracked generally. So you can pay by cash, and your payments are generally not tracked. But when you're using credit cards, when you're using online payment methods, generally each and every payment is recorded through banking systems or through government bodies. So there is a lack of privacy in a cashless society. Additionally, there are problems related to control. For example, you might say that you have a lot of money in your bank account, but one day you might find your account hacked and you might find that all your funds are gone. Or a bank or a government institution can freeze your funds or limit your funds, and you cannot really use your money. It's your money, but maybe it's frozen in your account, or it's limited and you cannot really take that out. So there is a lack of control in a cashless society. Additionally, as I said, there is government or big tech surveillance. Sometimes governments put up surveillance systems. Sometimes big companies, especially payment processors or multinational companies, they track each and every move of their customers to extract more revenue. And that is not nice. And I think a risk factor for a cashless society or the individuals in a cashless society is that they might be cut off from the system. For example, if cash is not accepted, if all payments are digital, in such a society, if you're cut off from the system, you cannot even buy a bottle of water, you cannot buy bread, you cannot buy anything. So if cash is not accepted, and if by any means you're cut off from the system, maybe the government does not like you, maybe they don't like your views, they don't like your books, they don't like your stance, and you're sort of cut off from the system. And in that case, you suffer a lot because there's no way you can buy goods and services. And finally, in a cashless society, I think there is a lack of ownership because everything is digital. You don't have a physical or tangible asset. Your money sits in a bank account in a digital form, and you don't really know if it really exists, or you don't really know if it will survive the long term. So these are some of the disadvantages of a cashless society. So, well, personally, I think it's definitely good to have a cashless payment options, credit cards, QR codes, online payment systems, and everything. I mean, they make our lives a lot easier compared to carrying cash and paying and receiving cash. But on the other hand, I think it's important to have cash, to be able to use cash, because, it offers a certain level of freedom. And I think as humans, we deserve freedom. So that's basically my take on the issue of a cashless society. As I said, there are both advantages and disadvantages of a cashless society. And please make sure that you share your comments and views in the comments section. And I'd like to really hear what you think about this issue. Well, that's it for now, and I'll see you in the next episode of the English Hour.